Sometimes the smallest things in life hold the biggest secrets. Like the jingling coins in your change jar or the old ones lying forgotten in your dresser drawer. Imagine this: a single coin from 1998, a simple Washington quarter with a tiny P mint mark, now worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Now, before you laugh this off as another coin collector fantasy, stay with me. Because today, I'm going to take you through the incredible story of the 1998 P Washington quarter that changed the game. You'll learn what makes it so valuable, how you can identify one yourself, and why it might just be sitting unnoticed in your very own home. This coin isn't just rare. It carries a hidden secret that only the sharpest eyes will spot. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that secret is. Let's start with the basics. The 1998 P Washington quarter was minted in Philadelphia. That's what the little P mint mark stands for, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. It looks like any ordinary quarter. Same weight. Same diameter. Same face. In 1998, over 896 million quarters were minted in Philadelphia. Yes, nearly a billion. So, how can one be worth over $1 million? Here's where we dig deeper. You see, the US Mint occasionally makes mistakes. And sometimes, those mistakes aren't just flaws, they're golden tickets. But before I reveal the specific error that makes this quarter so desirable, let's take a short journey into how coins like this go from everyday currency to auction gold. Coins are mass-produced. Hundreds of millions every year. But every now and then, a coin slips through with a misprint, a double strike, or even gets stamped on the wrong metal. These aren't just mistakes. They're anomalies. And in the world of collecting, anomalies are everything. Collectors don't just want old coins. They want rare coins. Unusual ones. Coins that shouldn't exist. It's one of those. But it's not rare just because of a misprint. It's rare because of a perfect storm of features. Fast-moving, high-pressure, constant output. Now imagine one coin among millions being struck slightly off-center, or with the reverse of a different design, or even on a different metal planchet entirely. This is where things get interesting, because one specific 1998 P quarter has all of that, and more. Let me tell you a story. A man from Ohio, just like many of you, was going through his late father's coin collection. Most of it was regular stuff: wheat pennies, buffalo nickels, a couple of Eisenhower dollars. Nothing that screamed jackpot, but there, buried in the corner of a Ziploc bag, was a 1998 P quarter. It looked a little odd. The rim was unusually thick on one side and thin on the other. There was doubling around Washington's eye. And under a magnifier, the eagle on the back had what collectors call a ghost image, as if it was double struck. He almost tossed it aside. Almost. Instead, he posted it on a coin forum. And within days, experts were swarming. Turns out, the coin had a triple anomaly: off-center strike, partial double die, and struck on a transitional planchet, a metal blank that wasn't meant for a quarter. He sent it for grading. The verdict? MS-67 with triple error classification. Market value? $1.4 million. You heard that right. First, the mint mark. It should be a clear P on the right of Washington's ponytail. Especially in the letters Liberty, In God We Trust, and Washington's eye and ear. A true double die will show shadows or extra lines. Now flip it to the reverse side. The eagle should be crisp. But if you notice an extra outline, missing details, or what looks like a shadow of another strike, you could be looking at a jackpot. Finally, test the sound. A rare coin struck on the wrong planchet will sometimes have a slightly different ring when dropped on a hard surface. Not definitive, but worth noting. You see, this coin's value doesn't just come from one mistake. It's the combination, the holy grail of coin collecting. Triple error coins are incredibly rare. They're the unicorns of the numismatic world. And the fact that it happened on such a common coin like the 1998 P quarter makes it even more desirable. Add to that the high grade. Most circulated quarters are scuffed, scratched, and dirty. But a few, just a few, stayed untouched in rolls, bags, or boxes. They never made it into circulation. Those are the coins that grade above MS-65, and those are the coins that collectors and investors drool over. Because here's the truth: wealthy people aren't just buying paintings and vintage cars. They're investing in rare coins too. Why? Because their value climbs year after year, and unlike stocks, they can't go bankrupt. Get a second opinion. Visit a local coin dealer, not a pawn shop, and ask if they've seen anything like it. Send it for professional grading. The top services are pcgs and NGC. They'll authenticate, grade, and seal it for life. Auction. If your coin gets the high grade and error classification, it needs to be put in front of the right eyes. That means auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. These guys cater to serious collectors with serious money. Don't rush. A coin like this only comes once in a lifetime. Make sure you get the right price, because here's the deal. Somewhere out there, maybe in your glove box or under your couch cushion, a 1998 P-quarter might be hiding. Waiting. Quietly carrying a secret that could change your life forever. The next time you get change at the gas station, don't dismiss it. Inspect it, because these tiny silver discs have bought people houses, paid off debts, built retirements, and changed legacies. And here's the cliffhanger I'll leave you with: if a 1998 P-quarter can be worth $1.4 million, what about the other years most people ignore? There are other coins out there, even more valuable, even more mysterious, hiding in plain sight, and in our next video, I'm going to reveal a 2000-era quarter that's worth even more. Imagine this. You're sitting on your couch, sifting through a handful of spare change. Nothing unusual. Just the same old coins jingling in your palm. But buried in that pile is a tiny treasure. A coin you've probably handled before. A 1986 Washington quarter, but this one? It's got a P mint mark and it's worth not 25 cents, not even $25, but $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.5 million. So, how can a simple quarter turn into a fortune? What makes the 1986 P Washington quarter so outrageously valuable? Today, we're diving deep. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around until the very end. Because by the time we're done, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. Let's rewind the clock to 1986. Ronald Reagan was president. Gas was 89 cents a gallon. And the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia was churning out quarters like there was no tomorrow. Over 551 million Washington quarters were minted that year. So you might be thinking, with that many out there, how can one possibly be rare? Here's where things start to get interesting. The bulk may be ordinary. But a few, a tiny handful, were not. These were mistakes. Flukes. Accidents that turned ordinary metal into multi-million-dollar marvels. Some of these rare quarters have slight errors. Some were struck on the wrong planchets. Some have misalignments. Others were double dies. And one specific version, a high-grade 1986 P Washington quarter in pristine condition, has shocked even seasoned collectors with its sale price, a cool $1.5 million. What makes it so unique? And more importantly, could you have one of these coins lying around in a dusty drawer? Stay with me. Because we're about to break it all down. A Washington quarter is 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. On the surface, it's just base metal. No gold, no silver, no platinum, but coin collectors or numismatists look beyond the metal. They're searching for stories. Rarity. Minting errors. Exceptional grades. And this 1986 P quarter checks all those boxes. The most valuable version ever sold had an astonishing grade of MS67+. Now, MS stands for mint state. It's a grading system that ranges from 1 to 70. And to reach 67+ is like finding a classic car with 0 miles on the odometer. Combine that with the fact it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and you've got a unicorn. A coin that simply should not exist in that condition. But it does. And when it surfaced, collectors went wild. You might be wondering, why Philadelphia? Isn't that one of the most common mints? True. But ironically, that's what makes high-grade coins from Philly harder to find. Their coins were mass-produced and handled heavily. So finding a 1986 P quarter that's flawless? That's like pulling a diamond out of a coal mine, and that leads us to the real cliffhanger. What specific features should you look for to know if your 1986 quarter is the millionaire kind? I'll tell you exactly what to check for right after this. First, flip it under a bright light. Look for sharpness in detail. The eagle on the reverse should be crisply struck, wings clear, talons well defined, and no weak spots around the edges. Next, check the surface. No scratches. No wear. No dings. We're talking mirror-like finish here. If it looks like it just left the mint yesterday, you may be holding a high-grade coin, but here's where the microscope comes in handy. You're looking for possible double die errors, especially on the word Liberty or In God We Trust. If the letters appear slightly doubled or shadowed, your coin just got a lot more interesting. Then, check the planchet. Was it struck on the wrong metal? If the weight feels off, or the color seems different, it could have been struck on a dime blank, or even a foreign coin planchet. These are extremely rare. Don't trust just your eyes. Get it graded. Certified coin grading companies like pcgs or NGC can verify authenticity, assign a grade, and give your coin the documentation it needs to make serious money at auction. Let's talk about the auction that turned the 1986 P quarter into a millionaire. It was quiet at first. Just another online coin sale. But as soon as the high-grade 1986 P appeared, the room changed, bids climbed. Fast. 10,000. 50,000. 100,000, then $250,000. The final sale price was a staggering $1.5 million. A quiet man from Pennsylvania who had kept that quarter tucked in a velvet box for over a decade. He found it while cleaning out his late father's coin jar. Imagine that. A lifetime of bills, stress, and work, and then suddenly, you're sitting on enough cash to retire early, pay off the mortgage, and still have money to spare. It's not fantasy. It happened, and it could happen again. These coins don't just live in museums or bank vaults. They live in glove compartments, old coffee cans, junk drawers, coin albums forgotten in attics. Start with your own home. Then, hit up flea markets, estate sales, garage sales, coin shows. Talk to older family members. You'd be amazed what's been stashed away for decades. Look especially for uncirculated rolls. Many of these quarters were pulled straight from the bank and stored without a second thought. Those untouched coins? They're gold mines waiting to be discovered, and if you think you're too late, think again. There are thousands of unsearched coins still out there. Just waiting. The treasure hunt isn't over. It's only just beginning. Right now, we are in a coin collecting boom. The market is hot. Collectors are paying premium prices for coins that used to be ignored. Every year, more people are waking up to the fact that these little metal discs hold big-time value. And the 1986 P quarter? It's leading the charge. Join coin forums. Watch auctions online. Learn from experts. This is a community that welcomes curiosity and rewards knowledge. There's nothing stopping you from being the next person to uncover a life-changing coin. You see, this isn't just about coins. It's about second chances. About stories buried in plain sight. About discovering wealth in the places you least expect it. That 1986 P Washington quarter wasn't flashy. It didn't sparkle. It didn't scream millionaire. It was quiet. Ordinary. Forgotten, and maybe, just maybe, the next person to do that is you. So check your change. Open that old box. Look again. Because one quarter could change everything, and when it does, remember this moment. If you found this video inspiring or helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and share it with a friend who still thinks quarters are just spare change. Your fortune might be one flip away. Keep searching. Keep believing. And remember, your coin story is just getting started. Hey there, my friend. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked at the change in your pocket? You know, those quarters you toss into the jar by the door, the ones that roll under the couch or rattle in your car's cup holder? Well, what if I told you that one of those ordinary-looking coins could be worth $1.60 million? Yes, you heard that right. $1.60 million pennies worth of treasure, hiding in plain sight. And we're not talking ancient Roman gold or pirate doubloons. No. We're talking about a good old American quarter. Specifically, the 1980 Washington quarter with a tiny little P mint mark on it. Stay with me, because over the next few minutes, I'm going to take you on a journey, one that might just change the way you see every coin you touch. And by the time we're done, you'll know exactly what to look for, where to find it, and why this single quarter is turning regular Americans into millionaires. The year was 1980. The country was in transition. Reagan was on his way to the White House. Gas prices were high. Inflation was a hot topic. And the U.S. Mint? They were cranking out coins by the millions to meet demand. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 635 million Washington quarters that year. That's a sea of silver-colored coins flooding wallets, vending machines, and cash registers across the nation. But out of all those coins, only a few, very few, would ever become legends, and that's what makes this story so special. You see, buried within those hundreds of millions was a tiny handful of quarters with something different. Something rare. Something so extraordinary that collectors today are willing to pay more than the price of a mansion just to own one. So what exactly makes one of these 1980p quarters worth over $1 million? Let's dig into the details. Most coins are just coins. You spend them. You forget about them. But every once in a while, the mint makes a mistake, or something unique happens during production, and suddenly, a regular coin becomes a rarity. The $1 million 1980p Washington quarter has a few key features that separate it from the crowd. At first, the strike. These high-value quarters are known for having a sharp, proof-like finish despite being minted for circulation. That means somewhere along the line, a few planchets, those are blank coin discs, got struck with unusual pressure or extra polished dies. A second, there are extremely rare varieties that involve double die outbursts. That's when the design gets imprinted twice, ever so slightly off, creating visible doubling in the date, lettering, or even Washington's eye and lips. If you've got one of those, you might be holding a six-figure jackpot in your hands. A third, condition is king. If your 1980p quarter is in uncirculated, mint state condition, especially MS67 or higher, its value skyrockets. The one that recently sold for $1.6 million? Certified by a top grading service, almost flawless, because one man found his $1 million 1980p quarter in the most unexpected place. It wasn't in a coin shop. It wasn't part of an inheritance. It was sitting in a roll of quarters he got from his bank, tucked in between laundry money. Meet George, a retired mechanic from Indiana. George had always been the kind of guy who picked up pennies off the ground. His friends joked that he was tighter than a rusty bolt. But that little habit? It made him a millionaire. In 2023, George walked into his local bank and asked for $20 in quarters. He liked collecting state quarters with his grandson. As he cracked open the roll, something caught his eye. A 1980 quarter that looked shinier, cleaner, like it had never been spent. He put it aside, looked it up online, and saw some listings for rare 1980p quarters. Curious, he sent it off for grading. 2 months later, George got a call. Not only was it real, it was one of the best preserved specimens ever seen. The coin sold at auction for $1.60 million. That's the power of knowledge, and a little luck. But George isn't the only one. So where do you look for these coins? Start in your own home. Dump out that coin jar. Check your junk drawers. Go through the center console of your truck. Look for rolls of quarters from the bank or ask your local grocery store for change. Coin collectors have found valuable quarters in old cigar boxes, toolboxes, laundry baskets, coat pockets from the 80s, tins tucked away in grandparents' attics. Anywhere you find old change, you've got a chance. It's not just about the date. Look for sharp edges, brilliant surfaces, no scratches. And definitely look for doubling in the letters or numbers. Now this part is for the serious coin hunters. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale. Anything above MS65 is considered investment quality. But to hit auction records, you're aiming for MS67, MS68, or even a mythical MS69. The 1980p Washington quarter that hit $1.6 million? It was flawless under 5x magnification. Clean fields, razor-sharp details, no nicks, no spots. It gleamed like a mirror. That's what elite collectors want, and then there's population. The fewer known specimens in that grade, the higher the value. Combine rarity with condition, and boom, you've got a coin that can change your life. But don't worry if you're not an expert yet. There's still time to learn, because just last year, another man made a discovery even rarer than George's quarter. And the crazy part? He almost gave it to his grandson to use in a vending machine. I'll tell you what happened right after this. And nowadays, you don't need a microscope and years of training to find treasures. There are apps that help you scan coins. websites where you can compare photos of real rarities, and grading services like pcgs and ngc where you can submit your coin for expert analysis. If you find something that even remotely resembles what we've talked about today, don't spend it. Don't clean it. Just hold it carefully and get it graded. One of the most dangerous things you can do is polish a valuable coin. That knocks the value down by thousands, sometimes even more. The best thing you can do is preserve it and verify it.so. Let's take a moment to think about this. That you're a man who's worked hard. You know the value of every dollar. You've got a story, a family, a past, and maybe, just maybe, you're holding on to something that could write your next chapter. Maybe you've got a 1980p quarter in your sock drawer, or maybe you'll find one tomorrow. But one thing's for sure, the treasures of life don't always come wrapped in gold. Sometimes they're wrapped in nickel and copper. And now, you look. You dig. You check every quarter. Because lightning doesn't just strike once, it strikes where people are paying attention. The $1 million 1980p Washington quarter isn't just a collector's dream. It's a wake-up call. A reminder that fortune favors the curious, the careful, and the coin-conscious.so. Before you go spend the change, take a second look. Because you might just be holding a piece of history, and your future. Well, I hope you remember this video when you're signing the papers on your dream home, or buying that classic car you always wanted. Gentlemen, have you ever reached into your pocket, pulled out some change, and tossed it aside without a second thought? What if I told you that one of those ordinary-looking quarters might just be worth more than your car, your house, maybe even your entire retirement savings? Today we're diving into one of the most unexpected and powerful stories in the world of coin collecting. We're talking about the 1979 D Washington quarter dollar, a coin that looks just like the rest but has shocked collectors and appraisers across the country. And yes, it's currently valued at a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. This isn't just another coin video. This is a wake-up call. Because that little silver coin you forgot about? It could hold the key to the life you've always dreamed of. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and stay locked in. You won't want to miss a second of this journey. The year was 1979. The disco ball was spinning, the economy was rocky, and a new chapter in U.S. coinage was quietly beginning. The Denver Mint struck millions of Washington quarters that year, over 489 million to be exact. Most people wouldn't look twice at them. But among those half-billion coins, a small handful came out different. Not obviously different, not something you'd notice at first glance. But the kind of different that makes numismatists and investors go silent, raise an eyebrow, and then break into a cold sweat. It's not about gold or diamonds. It's about rarity, precision, and hidden history. But what exactly makes one of these 1979 D quarters worth $1.7 million? Hold on to that question, because in a moment, we're going deep into the details, and you'll want to be ready to check your own change jar tonight. First, let's talk about what sets a coin apart in the world of collectors. There are 4 golden factors: rarity, condition, mint error, and historical relevance. This 1979 D quarter ticks all the boxes. Some specimens from this mint batch were struck on a 40% silver planchet, a leftover blank from the Eisenhower dollar series. These were never meant to be used for quarters. Somehow, they slipped through the cracks at the Denver Mint. There are reports of deep cameo strikes, sharp details, double dies, and perfectly preserved surfaces known as mint state or proof-like finishes. When a coin is graded MS67 or higher and has these irregularities, that's when auction houses start calling. That's when millionaires start bidding, and suddenly, an old piece of change becomes a piece of treasure. But what if I told you, some of these coins might never have been found? Still waiting, sitting in a drawer, buried in your glove compartment, or hiding under your sofa cushions. That's not a guess. That's a very real possibility. Let me tell you a true story. A gentleman from Kansas, retired, living a modest life, stumbled upon one of these quarters while helping his grandson with a school coin project. He thought nothing of it at first. Just a 1979 quarter with a D mint mark. But something felt off. It had a heavier weight. A richer ring when tapped. After a bit of curiosity and an online search, he took it to a local appraiser. What happened next changed his life. That coin was verified as one of the ultra-rare silver planchet 1979 D quarters. It was in pristine condition. And it sold at private auction for $1.70 million. Moment, he was clipping coupons. The next, he was taking his wife on a cross-country road trip they had dreamed about for 40 years. That story should give you goosebumps, because yours could be next. Let's get to the details. Because if you're going to go treasure hunting, you need to know exactly what to look for. A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams. The rare silver planchet versions are closer to 6.25 grams. A digital scale is your best friend. Silver coins have a slightly different hue than copper nickel. Look for brighter, smoother finishes. Look for doubling around the lettering or date, a misaligned die, or strange rim edges. If you find one that matches even two of these traits, do not spend it. Get it graded fast. But what if you find one that has them all? Then your life is about to change. First, never clean the coin. Not even with a soft cloth. Cleaning can drop the value by thousands. Second, get it professionally graded. PCGs and NGC are the gold standard in coin grading. A certified grade like MS67 or above with an error attribute can skyrocket your coin's value. Third, consider your selling options. Do you go to auction? Private sale? Online marketplace? Each has its pros and cons. But with a coin of this caliber, private collectors will often outbid public auctions. Once word gets out that you have a potential 7-figure coin, the offers will find you. This isn't just about one quarter. It's about changing the way you see value. It's about never underestimating the ordinary. Millions of Americans walk around with change jingling in their pockets every single day, completely unaware that hidden among the nickels and dimes is a small fortune waiting to be discovered. It's about taking a second look. Slowing down. Opening that old coin jar with fresh eyes, because while others chase get-rich-quick schemes, you'll be the man who found wealth in something real. Tangible. Historic, and maybe, just maybe, this is the beginning of your numismatic journey, one coin at a time. So here's what I want you to do tonight. Go to your change jar, your junk drawer, your old wallet. Pull out every 1979 quarter you can find. Get a scale. Look close, that tiny piece of metal might be worth more than your car. If you found this video helpful, or if you're already turning over cushions looking for a Denver Mint 1979 quarter, hit that like button and subscribe. This is just the beginning. We've got more million-dollar coins to uncover together, and remember this: the difference between pocket change and life-changing wealth is knowledge.